Hey guys, if my voice sounds a little funny, that's because I've picked up a little something something. So I started a Fox account. I only play on KGS, or rather I only use KGS. Well, I started Fox. And since we've been doing work around the 5Q, I started at 6Q. So just fun little thing. So here's my first game against a 6Q. Let's see how it went. I was kind of interested. How do they play different? This kind of stuff. I'm white. So there's some choices to do here. I decided I'll play this way, knowing he's going to build a really big wall in an area he wants a really big wall. Okay, so I'm giving him what he wants. He takes his wall in Gote, very nice wall. And I thought about ignoring, playing down here somewhere, this kind of thing. And then working on when to invade, how to invade, this kind of thing. But I thought, it is awfully rational to deal with it now. That's what I would suggest a 6Q student do. So, it's awfully big. Now's a good time. So let's look at possible entry points. 3 come to mind. It's kind of a big difference between B and C. If we play this way, we have room for full extension, and the white stones are really close to this Shamari, which is very thin. So it's hard for black to do much against us when he's got this thin wall, 2-stone wall. So he'll probably do some sort of fixing, something like this. I don't know. And yeah, I'm living comfortably inside his area. If I play this one instead, now I'm extending towards a thick wall. That's getting dangerous, right? So between C and B, C makes more sense. Now A, fourth line, it's simply hard to attack already. So these are all reasonable ideas. But let's just look at C for a moment. Something to notice here. And it sounds silly, but it's actually meaningful. It's black's move. He can do whatever he wants, however he wants. He can play away. He can make any choice he wants. I have played an inactive move. This cedes control to him. Pardon me for a moment. My wife gave me the cold, but I got to tell you, it was worth it. Okay, so I'm giving him control. I'd rather not. I'd rather maintain control. There's something nice about that. So that's what I chose. This is a common way to move forward based on this Shamari. And it's a way of being in charge, which might not be the right way to put it, but so he comes under, standard Joseki, and then I cut. This is, again, all Joseki. If he comes down, which he did, that means I clearly get this move in Sente. That's a very nice, straightforward, living idea for me. So the other idea is for him to play this way. Well, at the moment, this is still Sente. So on his move, he'll likely come this way. And then he can still do a couple things on top, but there's something laying in wait. If I come this way, if he ever stops and says, I'll do something else, well, this Atari, followed by the descent, what's he going to do? Hane? Turns out this is all Sente to be killing things. So the proper idea, he has to keep coming this far. So yeah, he got a lot, granted. But I got great thickness and health in his area, and I did it in Sente. So it's White's move. White's in charge. I can do whatever I want. Maybe I'll come this way and make sure he's limited in his resources here. Dare I come closer? Threatening to boom, boom. Is there a threat going on here? And there's lots of things to consider, but I'm the one doing the considering. Black is defending. I came in his area, and this whole time he's been defending. So we can say White's in charge. But anyway, that's the gist of this Joseki. And he went the easy way, and I just stabilize. One thing while we're here, we're told that with a 2-stone wall, you go 2 spaces. I'm sorry. With 1 stone, you go 2 spaces. With a 2-stone high wall, you go 3 spaces. I want to make this more obvious, so let's go single stone, go 2 spaces. 2 stones, go 3 spaces. Okay, we all know this, right? But this is a 2-stone high wall, not a 2-stone low wall. This is still 2 spaces. A lot of people never quite catch that. So on top, I have a 2-stone high wall. So I only go the 3 spaces, not an extra one. Okay, hopefully that helps someone. He comes in. Oh, I thought I'd jump this way. Notice, what is this stone accomplishing? Or rather, this stone on the left is doing nothing. This stone on the right is doing a lot. So we go where our stones are most used. I can recall, well, what side do I run from? Well, whatever's doing most of the work. He peeps. I'm happy to get stronger. He comes up, and I have to make a decision. Does my group need more help? And I actually don't know the answer. I'm certainly confident that if I ignore, I'll be fine. But if I ignore, am I giving him too much freedom to attack me? Am I fine but not fine enough? There's a line here, and I don't quite know where it is. So we can say, if we have 3 options for health and we're healthy, option 1, run. Option 2, run. Option 3, I can play at 3 and I'm alive. So I'm okay. But on the other hand, I'm still behind enemy lines. So I'm quite comfortable that I'm healthy. Perhaps there's Perhaps he can press me too hard. So maybe you're seeing I'm hoping that you're seeing my question and that I don't know the answer. For this exact moment, I'm sure I'm fine. So I went with that. Here, there's lots of choices. I can do this shamari. I can come over here for this corner. I guess there's the two obvious choices. He can do a lot on this side. See, he's building the left. Like, it's a nice looking left. On the right, this is not a valid move. It's giving me the entire corner. He didn't get anything. He's not sharing the corner at all. And he's undercut there. You would have to stop it in Gote. So it's just, he can do more on the left. So I went that way. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of a key idea. He comes down. I decided, oh, we're taking points. Let's just keep taking points. He jumps. That's unusual. I would call that a bad move. But next move, he's fixed his weaknesses, so he's actually strong now, and I'm undercut. So the idea of coming under is really the only idea. That's how to abuse the weakness he left. Here's another way. I'm not sure I like that. So I went this way. Really, all we're showing is what thoughts go into the decision. And secondary, which thought's best? Well, that's always going to change. So just what are the things to think about? Try to make a rational decision. It's a little strange. An easy readout says if I Atari and fix, I'm good, he's not. We came down. Well, that's an easy read. I read it before he played there. I can capture and sente. Then drop down. Little things to notice along the way. When you play here, you have to realize if he comes down, it's gote. It's important to know that. If he comes down, it's easy. It's an easy kill. If this was his sente, I don't want him coming down in sente. I'd probably play this way. I don't want this to be his sente. I want that to be his gote. Okay. I come down. He comes down in gote. And coming up, I like. How do we make this decision? Well, I'm fine, that's for sure. In my corner, his group, let's notice some things. This white move can connect under. Let's have him stop. Look at his group. It's a stick. And considering I had already played here, that's an ugly looking stick. So you need to use your imagination and go, well, his stick, he's got a stick here that's not nice. So when I hane, I'm taking away his turn. This is a nice look. I mean, gosh, that's nice, right, for him. So I'm removing that, growing the bottom, getting ready for a good looking attack. He fixes it, okay. Notice his turn in sente looks good. My move, there's some aji here. See how he's looking weak here? I don't know how I would do it or if I would do it now, but clearly this bothers the black group here. And I'm growing the bottom big time. So this seems to be a very obvious looking move. So I'm going to deal with his right side later. For now, just the plan is to do this. And as he runs, I'm going to be coming into his center casually. He plays this way? Sure. In here, looks a little silly. He's come across the top. Very thick position. Sente, sente. And I thought, here first. Because as much as this isn't sente, it's still a little bothersome. And he's getting some points. So if I play it first, he really can't ignore with he's weak there. Okay, now he's clearly getting less. That's getting where it's hardly worth playing. So good exchange and then under. And he's got a funky little group. Sure, come on up. Come on over. I really had to read this out a few times to make sure. I kept thinking, if he Ataris and then Atari, I had to make sure this is not Atari. I know that sounds funny, but I had to read it out 2 or 3 times just because it's like, are you sure? Okay, he fixes. Now, Q players are going to be playing this all the time, right? Atari, Atari. It's a fun thing to say. Atari. Let's say it again. Atari. But if I'm black, I'm going to ignore. Go get some big move. It's not sente. Those 2 black stones right there aren't important. So don't play moves that you don't need to. Now, for the first time, when I see this A group, I'm feeling vulnerable. His single stone at L14 is now backed up big time. I can't counter that stone anymore because he has a big wall. Now that's not saying a lot because I couldn't do much against it. Maybe something like earlier he might have felt a need to pull back, and now there's no such need at all. So it's kind of a subtle thing. I'm not even sure it's real, but it feels real. And then on top of that, he now has thickness down here ready to catch an A group. This too is subtle because it's a long way off and it's a weak black group on the bottom anyway, but I certainly felt better with this move in. If I was playing at a very high level, I'd think twice. I would be more specific. But here, oh, well, that feels nice. That's plenty for 6Q. He comes in. Why not? That's his next move, right? Once this move is here, nice little area for black. Nothing stunning, but nice little area. And what happens here now? Well, if I say, no, you can't connect under, no, you can't connect under, that cut's a bit bothersome. I surround, you go for life. I'm like, I hate getting cut here. This is a weak corner. This black move takes points and gets my corner where I'm unsure about it. So if I play it, I'm absolutely sure about my corner. And now when I come under, I'm threatening a stone. So it's a pretty big switch. So it's one of these moves that's one step for either guy. It looks small, but it represents a lot more for both players. So it's bigger than it looks. I play here, he comes down, and my first thought is I'll just ignore. because it hasn't changed the status of my corner. And I can't come under anymore. So why am I saving the stone? And I thought, well, if I do save this stone, it's nice locally, finishes the shape, keeps it clean, reverse sente. But on top of that, this works. So I'm alive by connecting under or running out. So it presents a future. Now, I don't need to. That's not a devastating sequence for him. It's nice for him and hurts a little bit, but I'd hardly raise my voice about it. But here, nice and clean and crisp with a future for me. He comes down. Well, I'm not about to come down for a couple points. Instead, I'll abuse it this way. His A group has issues. So he's going to want to defend. And what I'm really after is the B group. He plays, I take my sente, and just come out. I'm building a nice little A area, and I'm clearly, step by step, getting closer and closer to B. How many eyes does the B group have? None. And it is behind enemy lines. That's a pretty wide net. There is room to live and everything, but step by step. Comes in, well, that's cut. I started this way. Goal 1, A. Goal 2, his B area, he could grow that to, I don't know, lots of points. And I felt that I could just calmly go forward. So that's a pretty simple, straightforward move. I'm not cut, I'm not stretching, I'm not giving him any counterplay. But next move, let's look at the next move. I'm going to cut him next move. He says, no, you're not. Look at that black group. I've done nothing thin or weak, and he's like virtually dead. So shows you the strength of this sort of move. And in I come. It makes the jump very easy and strong. He has two problems. He goes this way. Come on in. This is the first one that's thin. This is cuttable. But I've got room on all sides. He's got a weak group. He's got the center territory that I'm going to rip apart. This is the first thin move, but I'm so prepared I don't see any counterplay for him. It's a standard way to attack. Here, the standard way is pull back. I want to point out the shape. Absolute wall with the peeping stone there. Mostly what we see next, pull back. It's the standard way of supporting our A stone. Right? The A stone can't get cut now. The A stone is a real stone to deal with black's group. I'm hoping you're seeing the shape. Thick black, single white, jump back. It puts everything in order. I decided to change because I have a knight's move at A and a big gap at B. Now, I didn't read anything out. I'm just thinking, let's just fix as we go along. I don't want to commit to the attack. I want to attack as I defend all my areas. It's a very simple, straightforward, rational. So instead, the other one is, I'm here to attack you. I don't care about my gaps. You can't do anything to me anyway. Now, perhaps that's the most rational idea. But that takes, are you sure? I mean, you got gaps there. Are you sure it's going to be okay? If the answer is yes, go play however aggressive you want, or just fix as you go. So it's two very different ways to move forward. And I went the casual, comfortable way. Sure, good time to just fix. No eyes there. Okay, thank you.
Are you in the middle of something?
Just a recording.
Oh.
That's not a problem. Something I can do for you?
Yeah.
I'm
going to take Ava around the block.
Okay.
And then you shake him up.
Good. Good. Okay. Black says, I'm going to cut you. So I'm talking to 5 and 6 cues, right? So, and the idea is how to think these things through. And this is your job if you want to get past the 6 cue range. Now, I have known players to spend 20 years at 6 cue. There's a certain sadness to that, right? It's like, oh man. And he wanted to get better, but year after year after year, 6 cue. Oh. So how do you get out of that? Well, there's a way out. You're about to get cut at A. Well, you're cutting A apart from B. So what do? Check it out. How's my A side? Alive. Not concerned. How's the B side? Well, they are far from home, but if you running to C that's a strong home. Running over to, we'll call it the D area. I made a whole point of tightening all that up. Any running we do, we go to good homes. So I'm not concerned about getting cut. We want to continue this surround. So I went this way because, see the peep at E? If he peeps at E and cuts, my F stones die, he's alive, right? See his eyes developing? So this is a weakness of mine that he can use. So this move is a standard way of defending, helping the cut, threatening to cut him as I support my weak area. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3 things with this move. So if you can, so what we're doing is breaking apart, breaking down the issues and looking at them separately. If he cuts me, I have 2 potential problems. Hey, they're both fine. Don't have to worry about it. What's next? Where can he live? Well, his peep at 3 starts giving him eye shape. So we're going to support our cut at 1. As we get rid of his cut, right, you break it down. Now, you might decide that the answer is here. Fine. Great move. Well, but he can cut me. We've already dealt with that. You just run home. And you got 2 homes to run to. It's just not a problem. So this may well be a better move. But just deal with the issues at hand, and you're going to start Now it's a hassle, right? Oh, you're making me think? Well, that's why they call it go. It makes you think. So just learn to think through the situations. I play here, he cuts, I come on down, I get to play that move anyway. Maybe I should have just played that move. Saves. And now that cut at one has become more meaningful. My two stones are closer to being surrounded. One incente. So I didn't remember that I played here. So I am clearly leaning on the idea that my two A stones, if he cuts, I just run out. Looking at it now, I'm not convinced. Perhaps running out. So now as he runs, it's Gote and harder for him to find eyes. I was thinking that maybe he can find two eyes down here. No, he can't find two eyes down there. So I'm thinking that my move may be better to support A. I just got where he's got no eyes at all. You got no eyes. He comes out, I come out. Looking now, I would play this way. They're just subtle differences. You know, if I'm going a wrong way, instead of 100%, it's 95%, 90%. Oh my God, it's 85%. Still dawn level. He comes out, peep. And so here, this is, by the way, see how far he's coming out? This gets back to I played away from my two weak A stones and took away his eyes at B. If instead I had gone the other way, it's much harder for him to get out. It'd be a much better attack. Starting to see, well, oh, I went the wrong way here. I get out. He starts coming out. He's virtually out now. All because of that one error. So peep is pretty natural here. I don't see any straightforward way to kill him. Maybe I do. But the easier way is, oh, I'll just come into your territory, take it all away. That's all I need to do. He's like, well, I can't let you do that. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. We just cut you. Next move, double Atari. He fixes that. Atari, it's like there's simply, he's just falling to pieces, and his group, center group, still isn't alive. So he resigned here. Let's check out here. I would say the Atari because the capture is so big, but now I wouldn't capture the stone. I'd get all that work done, then I'd get back to surrounding. And he's just dead. I don't see any way. He can't even get one eye. If he plays here, well, maybe he can get an eye. Yeah, I have to play this way. So he gets an eye in Gote. But that's just one eye. Maybe he can live, but I'm still just so far ahead. Okay, good. Hopefully that was fun. Let you see some things. Okay, catch you later.